Welcome in, everybody, to the Saved by the Brew podcast, episode 1. My name is Sean with the Real Life Perspective Show.
And I'm the co-host, Mr. Trumpet Master 77, cooking up deliciousness in the backyard and the front. And we're here tonight on episode 1.
And it's October, so we're kicking this thing right off with our Halloween extravaganza. Just going to be talking about the topics tonight are 80s Halloween costumes, the horror movie craze in the 80s, and also 80s Halloween candy. I can't wait to get into
Can't forget
this.
about them candies, yeah.
That's a huge part. It's a huge part of Halloween. But guys, we're going to get into our first trivia question. And make sure you play along at home if you're listening in, and leave your answer in the comments. First question of the night. What is the name of the hotel in the movie Psycho? Leave your answer in the comments. And now it's time to get into the drink of the week.
Ciao.
Trumpet Master, what are you sipping this week?
Well, Mrs. Sand, I'm going to tell you something, man. I'm first off, I'm happy that it's Friday because I'm literally, I had one of those weeks where I'm actually being saved by the brew.
Nice.
So, in this protective sleeve is a can of deliciousness. And I'm about to show you guys what it is. Aramo beer. Where is this beer from? What cartoon is this beer from?
Let us know in the comments. You guys know it's a very popular one. And how hard has it been for us to get a hold of that stuff, dude?
It's been a couple of months, actually. I actually forgot that I put in a special order for these for my beer hookup, which turns out that you have the same beer hookup.
It's a small
Because when she called me and was like, "Hey, your stuff's in. You want to come pick it up?" I was like, "Yeah, I forgot all about it." At first, I was like, "Who's this?"
Yeah, right.
I thought they had the wrong number.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this stuff is supposed to be legit. I mean, it's got to be pretty good. I'll give you guys a little hint on what cartoon we're talking about here. This is a Texas-based brewer out of San Antonio, Texas. It's called Alamo Beer Brewery, and it's the King of the Hill Alamo beer, and they're rocking 4.4% alcohol on this thing. And yeah, I haven't tried it. I've had it for a few days, and I withheld tasting it because I wanted to try it here tonight on episode 1.
What I'm drinking tonight, because it's October, I picked up something a little Halloween-y. This is called the Garys. It's got some black cats with a full moon on it, from Jester King Brewery out of Austin, Texas. And
oh, nice.
It says that this is a West Coast style Indian Pale Ale. And it is, what is the, oh my Lord, 7.2%. It is a bad boy.
Dang.
So, this will be fun.
I'm curious to know, why is it a West Coast? What makes it a West Coast flavor?
That's a good question. That's a really good question.
Did they put avocados in it? Or some sriracha?
Some palm trees.
Yeah,
some palm trees.
Some sriracha, cilantro.
They put some Tupac and Dr. Dre in there. I don't know. I don't know. We'll find out. But hey, it's Friday night, man. Let's get it cracking, okay?
Let's get it cracking.
We're going to try to crack this up together on the count of 3,
okay.
Right? We're going to go 1, 2, 3, crack. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Crack. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So I'm going to be pouring this into my 1980s Billy Bob Showbiz Pizza Place mug. My favorite mug to drink out of.
I'm slacking. I should have grabbed a glass. I'm going to drink it straight out of the can, just like you're supposed to.
Yep.
Just like they do it on a cartoon.
That is how they do it. So here's the color on it. It's actually pretty It's not really that hazy for an IPA.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It looks good. It's got a nice color.
Maybe that's why it's West Coast, because it's a little bit lighter. You know.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not as thick and hazy, maybe. Maybe so.
As the slump water we drink here in Texas.
That's right. All right, my friend. Well, here's cheers to episode 1 of Saved by the Brew. Let's get into sipping. I can smell the skunkiness. Woo! That's an IPA, all right. Ooh. All right. Okay.
Damn.
Yeah, no, gotta get a second. Gotta get a second sip there. Very cool.
Yeah. It's definitely not a light beer, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm getting stuffed.
We should call this Stuff BQ.
Yeah.
Stick a fork.
Because, stick a fork in me. I'm done.
If you guys don't know what we're referencing, you are missing out on Real BBQ Adventures Season 1. You gotta go to our playlist and check it out, guys. Well, let's get into our first topic of the night. We're going to be talking about 80s Halloween costumes. Particularly, we're going to start with Ben Cooper. In the 1980s, Ben Cooper Incorporated was a major Halloween costume manufacturer known for its inexpensive plastic masks and vinyl smocks. Though the company faced declining sales due to increasing competition and a downturn in the late 1980s attributed partly to the Tylenol paranoia, by the end of the decade, the company was struggling financially, eventually declaring bankruptcy and ceasing operations in the early 1990s, though its costumes remain nostalgic symbols of the era. What do you remember about Ben Cooper costumes?
Man, I'll tell you, I think those were the costumes that you could just get at like your local grocery store, like HEB or Safeway or Wynn's or Kmart, and they always came in that little plastic bag. And, you know, it's funny because they were very inexpensively made, right? And it was kind of a cheap looking costume. But the creepy thing that I remember most about those were the masks. The masks were really freaking creepy.
Yeah, they sure
they
were.
They were just a flat face mask. They went about this deep on your face. And, I mean, there was something creepy about it. Maybe because I was a kid at the time. I don't know. What? Some of those were kind of creepy looking.
It's funny, now that you mentioned that, I'm having flashbacks of the movie The Strangers. Remember, one of the guys just had a bag over his head, but then there was like the girl who had, it looked just like a simple Ben Cooper style mask, you know?
It was something about the simple, cheap plastic face mask that was just creepy.
Yep.
I think because you could just see the person's eyes like right through it made it even worse, you know?
Mm-hmm. But they had all kinds of cool stuff. I mean, I remember seeing like they were able to license so many because I mean they had everything, man. Mickey Mouse, He-Man, Skeletor, Transformers, you know, all that stuff. Man.
Yeah, they had everything. It was almost like the same mask, just painted different, and all across.
I remember in the late 80s, they did away. I think they started off in boxes. Is where they were, and then eventually they turned into where they were just hanging on a hanger with the plastic costumes out, and then the plastic mask was always just sticking out in front there.
That's how I mostly remember them, just in the plastic bags. I don't remember them in the boxes. I mean, I might if I really dig down deep, but not that I can remember.
Yeah, I did some digging, and that's what I saw was a bunch of the square in the boxes. But I was like, well, I just remember them hanging on the shelf, you know. And that's I have this picture of us when I was a kid, and we were marching in the town parade, and I was a Reese's peanut butter cup, you know. So and it was a Ben Cooper costume. It was just that same old plastic. It basically looked like a poncho, like the plastic ponchos that you get nowadays, you know, and it had Reese's on it, and then it was just a simple circle peanut butter cup, with the face on it, you know, and then so that's what I remember about Ben Cooper magazines. I mean, not magazines, about costumes. So,
Costumes.
Yeah. What else? What do you remember as a kid dressing up as anything else? You know, any particular costume?
Well, me personally, I was a real big like country western fan. So like I was always a cowboy. You know, I always had my cap guns, you know, my pistol holders, my cowboy hat. I was always a cowboy, man. You know,
That's awesome.
That was my thing when as a kid. You know,
Gotcha.
but and then came the whole vampire craze, where I was like a vampire for like 5 years back to back. You know.
Nice.
But yeah, that was pretty much it, man. If it wasn't like a cowboy with my pistolas, I'd ride around just shooting my pistolas up in the air. And if I wasn't that, I was a vampire mostly.
Nice. That's awesome. I wasn't more on the scary side of things as much as I was like superheroes. So I have this memory of my mom. She used to get the sewing kits. You remember you can make the costumes? You would get them at Walmart and you can like make them. She would like physically make them. She would go find the material.
Yeah. They had a dotted pattern in the package.
There you go. There you go.
I know what you're talking about.
And and I remember we told her we wanted to be Batman and Robin because the 1989 Batman Tim Burton movie just came out. And what did she do? She went out and got the Adam West.
Oh, nice. So that was dope.
So Chad, you know, my older brother Chad was Batman, and but the thing was, I think she actually made him the black Tim Burton Batman, but it was like, you know, it was like real flimsy kind of. I forget what kind of material that it was, but it wasn't like a. Anyway, she made him that. But the only thing she can make for me was the Adam West Robin. Yes, dude. The Adam West Robin.
I was like, hey, Scene, come here. Cut some holes out of it.
Well, but it was really cool. She did a really good job on it. But here's the thing, and I was a kid in the 80s. I didn't get this at the time. She's like, here's your pants. Wear your pants, because she made like the whatever, like yellow underwear shorts. You know, they were basically just she made underwear. But then she goes, here's your pants, and they were pantyhose. So I wore.
Don't forget the trousers,
bro. I wore pantyhose with those tight underwear to school as Robin one year. And
oh man,
yeah, I don't remember getting picked on or anything like that, but I cannot believe that I wore pantyhose to school in 1980.
Well, I think, you know, kids really don't pick up on stuff like that. If anybody was making fun of you at the time, it was the teachers. and you were a kid, so you didn't really pick up on it, you know.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. And then the only other costume I remember was in 1995 when the Mortal Kombat movie came out, which made me, what was I, 13?
A Scorpion or Sub-Zero?
I was Sub-Zero. And
yeah, they were the most popular. Yeah, those two.
Yeah, and I remember making my own costume. I took a piece of cardboard and I folded it like at an angle to where it made like a diamond shape. And I cut out a hole in the middle, and I sewed, or I hot glued like the color of the Sub-Zero, you know, as his, you know, he just wears that vest or whatever it was. Yeah. So I tried to make my own vest, and it was just a big cardboard thing that I put over there. And my dad had the old school, cool looking respirators in the 90s. You remember those big old gray respirators? And so I wore that as the
with the filters, like kind of like right there.
Right, but I took off the filters, you know, and just it just looked so cool. And I had like a ski mask that I think I cut out for the eyes or whatever.
Oh, well, that's kind of cool, man. That's pretty creative, man.
It was great up until we went trick or treating, because I went and met up with my buddy and I said, "Okay, bro, we're gonna go trick or treating." And he's like, "Dude, I got glow sticks." I said, "Oh, that's cool, glow sticks. I haven't seen those yet." So he says, "Dude, let's cut them open and put them on our costumes, and we'll glow." Right? And I was like, "Oh, cool. That sounds good." So we cut them open, we put them on our costumes, so because we're at night, it's night, you know, and that way people can see us a little bit better. So what did I do? I have the brilliant idea. I said, "Dude, I'm gonna I'm going to put the glow sticks on my eyebrows. I'm going to put the goo, the liquid on my eyebrows.
Got in your eyes, didn't it?
And then it started raining when we were trick-or-treating. And
man.
It got in my eyes. And I just remember my eyes burning, dude. Burning all about trick-or-treating. You know, but...
no wonder you wear 3D glasses.
Right?
It took it burned the third dimension out of your eyeballs.
Yeah. So that's what I remember about costumes in the 80s, Halloween costumes. Time for trivia question number 2. Which movie was directed by Oren Peli and filmed on a digital camera in his home in 10 days? If you know the answer, toss it in the comments below. If you're listening at home, let us know. It's time to talk about the horror movie craze in the 80s. The 80s saw a horror film craze fueled by the slasher subgenre, which capitalized on the success of 70s classics like Halloween and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The advent of home video, including VHS and cable TV, made horror films more accessible than ever, bypassing traditional theatrical restrictions and allowing for direct-to-home video releases.
Yeah, I remember watching a lot of movies. I think what used to scare the crap out of me as a kid was anything werewolf. Like, I remember the very first time I watched the American Werewolf in London. Oh. Dude, I was in elementary school, man. I had to have been, I think, 3rd grade, maybe, and possibly even 2nd. Mm-hmm. But, man, that movie gave me freaking night terrors, man. Nightmares, like... The whole idea of his buddy coming back to him in the flashbacks, that's what used to get me, like, as a young kid watching that. And it's not like I chose to watch it, you know. I was kind of forced into it, you know, by older siblings watching it. And now I'm scared to death of it, right, as a kid, and I don't want to leave and go to another room because now I think something's going to get me, so I'm just going to sit there and watch it with them too, you know?
For sure. Yeah, but, exactly. You feel safe, right? You got the...
I felt safe. You know, I'm watching this movie, but I felt safer than that other room over there, you know?
Totally.
At the time.
Hey, and I'm glad you brought that up because that movie alone is a complete awesome classic, but it's so dark, dude. So dark. I mean, like you said, he was coming back to him as this like subconscious, like haunting him or whatever. Whatever he was, you know. I don't know what he was. Was he a ghost? What was, you know? I don't know. I have no idea what his friend was. But yeah, the whole
and every time his buddy came back, he was like more in
decayed,
further state of decomposition.
Totally.
Every time.
And the trippiest part for me was when he's having the dreams in the hospital, in the dream where the Nazi werewolves come in. Dude, remember that? And comes in, like, he's having a dream where he's with his family having dinner, and his 2 little brother and sisters are watching TV, and all of a sudden these zombie werewolves come in Nazi uniforms, just shooting up the place and like demolishing. Dude, it was so dark. Yeah. You know, anything like that nowadays, just I'm not into it. But back then, and this tells you something about your parents too. Like, I remember my parents had it recorded on Betamax, and that's what me and Chad were watching on. And that tells me something like, oh, okay, so my parents were into this stuff. You know what I mean? This is you think about it in a retro perspective of like you're watching this as a kid, but it's as a grown up, you're like, okay, that's something I knew my parents were into at the time, you know, which is kind of cool.
Well, see, the way we were watching that stuff is because my older siblings would have their friends come over and spend the night, and they would bring over their video cassettes and those movies, and that's how we were getting to watch them. You know,
nice.
I don't think my parents ever knew at the time that they were watching that stuff. Otherwise, they wouldn't have let them watch it. But,
right.
That's how we ended up catching that, you know.
And we never watched it in front of my parents. We always had to watch it when they were out on date night or something like that.
Oh yeah,
that's the thing.
Like if they're in the grocery store or something, or you know.
You had to watch as much as you could in the short time that you had. And we were defiant, you know. We had to watch them out of defiance, you know. And so, because our parents never wanted us to watch that stuff, but we had it available to us, you know, recorded, because back in the 80s, they would record everything on HBO Saturday movie night. You remember that cool intro and everything, and they always had all this.
Looking back though, I mean, watching that stuff as a kid, it kind of changed the way you were thinking as a kid at the time. You know, it kind of took the fun away from like Saturday morning cartoons because you stayed up all night scared something was going to get you. You know. It made, we got some brain damage off of that stuff as a kid, man.
We were exposed to a lot.
Yeah,
we saw some images that we're not going to be able to get rid of. And I mean, it's not like we're damaged or nothing, but it's just we were just to be able to see those images at such a young age. It's definitely stuck with us, And I remember watching it recently as a grown up, and it's such a good movie. That one specifically.
Yeah, it's good.
It's so good.
I can sit there and watch the whole thing, and as an adult, you find the humor in some of the stuff now.
Totally.
But you didn't see it back then.
Right.
But,
right.
Yeah, it was super cool, man. Super awesome. I think the werewolf movies are the ones that really got me.
Yeah, I think for the most part, I would always, like you said, your siblings would bring out, and their friends would come over, and they would bring the stuff over. I would have to go stay the night mostly at friends' houses to watch that stuff. And I remember going to my cousin's house, one of the first horror movies I ever watched as a youngster in the 80s. He had Friday the 13th, the original 1980, on Laserdisc. You remember the giant Laserdisc, Ben? He had a Laserdisc, and I remember we're sitting there watching it, and then halfway through the movie, you have to pull the thing out and like flip it, and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And I
remember watching Superman on one of those.
Oh, nice.
It was the same deal. Yeah, I had a friend that had that, but that's all that kid would do, just stay in the house and watch movies and stuff. As a kid in the 80s, man, we were up and down the neighborhood on our bikes all day long playing in the creek. And see, I think that's another reason why those werewolf movies scared the crap out of me as much as they did, because I grew up out in the country, and so like it was nothing but country out there. And dark back then. There wasn't that many neighbors out there, and so it was just pitch black.
Oh man, that's spooky.
Yeah,
that's spooky.
Exactly.
You remember that movie with Corey Haim called The Watchers, where that thing was chasing him? It was this golden retriever shows up at Corey Haim's house one day, and he becomes his new pet. But that dog is psychically to some creature that was made in a lab, and that creature escapes and comes to the little town and starts terrorizing people, and was like in the woods chasing them.
I want to say I have seen that. It sounds familiar.
Kids riding
bikes. I don't remember.
Yeah, that's what when you said riding through the woods, something chasing you. That would scare me as a kid, because I saw that movie and I would ride through.
Yeah.
And that Silver Bullet.
Silver Bullet is excellent. Yeah. If there's anybody out there that's thinking about letting their kids watch scary movies, turn them on to Silver Bullet as the very first scary movie to watch. I think that one's pretty safe right there. That's an excellent movie, man.
It is.
Yep.
And then I also remember going to a friend's house and watches Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, which was just a random one, because there was like Part 1 and Part 2 stood out, and then Dream Warrior stood out really well, of course. But then everything after that was just kind of like just a blur for the most part.
Yeah.
I remember watching Part 5 at a friend's house, and then as we reached junior high, the biggest horror movie that everybody wanted to go see as a kid, Jason Goes to Hell, because everybody was like, "Oh, Jason is finally gonna die. They're finally gonna kill him off," And the hype on that movie, everybody had to see it. And I had one friend who actually recorded it. He bootlegged it, recorded it on his VHS. And I remember sitting in his house, spending the night watching the movie. That's the whole reason why I wanted to stay the night. I was like, I didn't really
just to watch it.
Yeah, I didn't even really get along with the kid. I'm just like, dude, you've got the movie? Okay, I'll go stay the night with you.
Yeah, we're friends this weekend.
Yeah, because he's kind of a jerk. He's kind of a jerk bully kid, and for whatever reason, he invited me over. I'm like, yeah, sure, let's do it. But I remember that. You remember that movie, dude? Whenever he finally oofed. They finally got rid of him. They finally so-called killed him. And then you saw at the very end what happened. You remember what happened at the very end?
Well, are you talking about Freddy versus Jason, or
Jason Goes to Hell.
Or Jason Goes to Hell.
Jason Goes to Hell.
What is that? The one at the very end where the Freddy hand comes up and grabs the mask and brings him down.
Yes.
But see, I thought that was at the end of Freddy versus Jason.
No, at the end it was something similar.
Okay.
So
Freddy versus Jason came on after. That's an awesome teaser right there.
Yep.
Could you imagine going to the theater and watching that and seeing that teaser and you just, whoa, I wonder if they're going to put them in the same movie.
But they didn't even come out with the Freddy versus Jason until about 10 years later.
10 years after? Wow.
Yeah, so it was something like that. It was way after. It was like mid 2000s, but yeah, Freddy vs. Jason was great, and how that one ended was Jason comes walking out of the water holding Freddy's head, and then Freddy he winks at the camera. That's how that was another because legends will never die.
Yeah, they don't die. They'll keep making them. They'll keep making them.
But I'll tell you, my favorite horror movie, and I have this one gives me so much nostalgia because me and Chad in our small town that we grew up in. I remember it was summer. It was summertime, and we rode our bicycles to the movie shop. We didn't have Blockbusters in our town. We just had the movie store. The movie store or the movie shop. Mm-hmm. You had one or the other. And we went, I think it was just called the movie store. And we went to the movie store and looked around. And that was part of the fun, too, was that was your menu because you never really got to see. We didn't have cable at that time, so we didn't really know what was coming out. Unless we you remember when you used to look in the newspaper about and they would show the Round Rock cinemas and the Austin movie cinemas. Remember when they had the show?
We used to call the phone number and it was a pre-recorded thing. Oh,
yes.
Thank you for calling Movies 12. On screen 1, we are playing Batman. On screen 2, and then it would tell you what times. And then on screen 2, we're playing, whatever. And I remember calling that, and you had to wait and see what was playing there.
Oh, that's the best. It's so good, man. It's so good. Yeah. Such good times, dude. Such good times. And you remember just walking through the movie aisles at the movie stores, and that you saw there were so many selections, especially in the horror section, because there were just all these random movies that you never heard of, and then there was I remember some of the ones that stuck out to me were like Prom Night for some reason, Prom Night and Prom Night 6 or whatever, all that kind of stuff, and it was just a good time to be able to, because these were the things you weren't allowed to watch at home. But
it's all right there at one place,
and you could see the cover, and you can grab it and look at the back, and it showed you a few images, screenshots from the movie. You remember? God, good times, dude. Love that stuff. But we went to the movie store. It was me, Chad, and another kid named Dusty. It was one of his friends, and we rented the 1990 remake of Night of the Living Dead, which is the best. The best.
You like that one, huh?
I love that one, dude. Because I to this day I never saw the black and white one. I've never seen it. George Romero.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
but that was Tom Savini who did the 1990 version. And
the black and white one's kind of creepy. It starts off. They re-released it in color.
Oh, did they? Nice.
Yeah. It's out there in color.
I never got around to watching it, but I loved the 1990 version because here's what we did: we rented the movie. Because Chad was 17, he was old enough to rent the movie, right? You had to be a certain age. And then next door was Mr. Getty's Pizza. You remember Mr. Getty's Pizza?
Yeah,
it's still around, but I love how they actually brought it back to Mr. Getty's. They did away with Mr. for a while, and now it's back to Mr. Getty's. So
did they really?
Yeah. It was just called Gaddy's for the longest time, for the last 4 years or something like that. But we ordered cheese sticks, just straight up cheese sticks and the ranch. And I remember we got two big large orders of cheese sticks and a bunch of ranch. And we put them on our bicycles and we rode home and we popped that movie in. And I just remember I have this nostalgia of just sitting on the floor watching the 1990 Night of the Living Dead and eating cheese sticks and ranch from Mr. Getty's Pizza.
Dang. Yeah. That's awesome, dude. That sounds like a good time.
But that's the horror movie craze. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, man. I think that's pretty much it on that one. I mean, lots of great scary movies back in the 80s. I mean, we're talking about 80s movies that, I mean, everything you see nowadays are remakes from that era, you know,
Yeah.
and they haven't remade them all yet. But so yeah, it's good stuff, man.
I do have a question for you. If you could take one horror movie prop from any movie, what prop would it be?
Oh man, from any horror movie?
Any horror movie.
Man, that's something to think about.
Mm-hmm. That's a good question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Do you take the hockey mask? Do you take the machete? Do you take Freddy's glove? Do you take his hat? Do you take Michael Myers' jumpsuit? You know, do you take? What do
you know, honestly, yeah, I think legit, it would probably have to be one of Freddy's gloves. That would be dope.
It's iconic, you know.
Yeah, it is.
No, man, it's tough for me because
it's tough, but I'll take that.
What's the most? Because you can pick any zombie. Zombies are like, what do you take from a zombie movie? You know, what can you take?
Like a rubber foot.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a rubber foot.
Yeah,
an eyeball.
Yeah. Because I mean, obviously, those are some of the big hits. You know, you got the gloves from Freddy. But what are some of like the most? I wonder, like the sweater. Maybe the sweater's like, eh. What is something that you could take that is just so that you could just sit there and just look at it all day long and be happy with your choice, you know?
Silver Bullet's baseball bat. Remember?
Oh yeah, the toothpick.
Silver Bullet's baseball bat. Remember he murders all them people with a freaking baseball bat. He's like,
what was it called? It was called something.
It was the Peacemaker, wasn't it? Was it the Peacemaker?
I think it's the Peacemaker.
Something like that. That'd be kind of cool to just hang up. Something cool to just kind of hang up. The Peacemaker.
That would be cool.
I think that's what it was.
I think you're right, man. I think you're right. Or like the rocket that shot him in the eyeball. You know, the fire.
Yeah. Or just, that powered wheelchair that he built. Yeah.
How cool was that, man? How cool was that?
Well, the silver bullet itself.
Yeah.
Silver bullet.
Those of you listening at home, leave in the comments, what would you take if you had the choice to take home a horror movie prop? What would you take of any movie, of any character? Think about it. Trivia question number 3. Name the serial killer in the Friday the 13th movie series. Leave it in the comments if you know the answer. All right, guys, we're officially done pretty much at the end of our beer. So it's time to review this stuff, man. Let's give it a review.
Yeah.
You want to go first or you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
All right. Tell us about it. Once again, give us a reminder,
all right, guys,
what it is, where it's from.
So, from San Antonio Beer Brewing Company, I'm drinking the Aramo beer, featured from King of the Hill cartoon. And right off the jump, guys, it's a pretty generic looking can, pretty fun. It's pretty cool. Nice tan, Alamo logo wrapped around it, just as you see in the cartoon. And it's 4.4% alcohol. I'm smelling it. I'm getting bananas. I'm getting deliciousness coming out of that. I'll tell you, man, it's definitely not a light beer. And this is something that you might not want to drink all day, like if you're hanging out at the lake. I feel like it's pretty potent. And the taste is pretty good. I mean, it's not bad. Like I said, it's definitely not a light beer.
Out of a one, okay, so it says here. So out of a 1 of 5, what do you think? What would you give it?
Between a 1 and 5?
Mm-hmm.
I think my palate. I would personally give this a 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
From the popularity factor though, you got to give it a 5, you know. But from my palate and from my honest review on this particular brew,
mm-hmm.
I would give it a 3.
Give it a 3.
So if you guys find this at your local spirits place, go ahead and pick it up. kind of cool.
Especially with the nostalgia, right? I mean,
yeah. Why not? I mean, it's awesome.
Especially you got to take a picture of that. You got to take a picture with that. You know.
Yeah, and that's just a really cool looking can.
I want to say, and we'll try to find a screenshot of it. I want to say that's what the beer looks like whenever they're sitting there against that fence line. And I tell you, man, I don't think there's any greater dream at my age now that's where I want to be. I just want to be, go to work, come home, and then
turn on the grill and drink a beer
and just hang out by the fence with my best bros right there, just cracking a few beers and just having a good time, and just talking about the day, just BSing, man. I think that is I don't know, that's just the dream for me. Just keeping it simple, nothing too crazy.
Yeah, nothing stressful, just chilling.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So according to 21,400 people who have reviewed this beer, they're going to give it a 3.32 out of a 5 is what they're giving this beer.
Interesting. I give it a 3.
And this is by Alamo Beer Company out of San Antonio, Texas. So there you go.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so the beer I have is from Jester King Brewery out of Austin, Texas. And this is called the Gary's, which is a West Coast Indian Pale Ale IPA. And I had to pick something spooky because it's Halloween.
Hasta Luisa.
There you go. And it's got the kitties on the front there. It's cool can art, And I like it. It's got a 7.5% alcohol content. And I want to say that it's got, everything in here from Columbus Cryo, Citra Hyper Boost, and a hand-selected Simcoe Mosaic and Citra Cryo hops. Okay, there you go. 7.2%. What would I give this thing out of 1 out of 5? Before I even look at the thing, I forgot to look at it.
So basically, it tastes like grapefruit.
Yeah, it's got
the
that,
citrus.
You smell it, and you definitely the first smell you get when you first crack open the can, it's very skunky. You get like I got that skunky smell. But as I've gotten to the bottom of the mug, I can definitely taste the citrus. I smell the citrus in it, and I can taste the citrus. And it's not a bad beer. I'm going to give it a. It's not going to make a 4. It's not going to make a 4 for me. I'm going to give it a 3.5. 3.5 for me. That's what I'm going with on this. And then, according to the internet, only 1,300 people have reviewed this beer. And again, this is the Gary's West Coast IPA from Jester King Brewery out of Austin, Texas, 7.2%. They give it a 3.84. There you go. Just under a 4. Just under a 4. So, we're kind of right on there. So, yeah, but those are the brews. Those are the drinks of the week, man. If you guys get a chance, go try them out, especially during this delicious Halloween season. Let's talk about 80s Halloween candy. So what candies did we love and what candies did we hate? Starting right from the get-go, I will say I would always, it never failed. Somebody always had these things called peanut butter kisses. And they were just in black wrapping and red wrapping. And
is that what they called them?
That's what these things are called. And they're made by Melster candies. And that's when I remember getting a lot of these. People would just have tons of these things, and they would just throw them in your bag. And you're just, disgusting.
Yeah, I don't even know why they even made that candy. Honestly, I mean, it's almost like a dog treat when you think about it. Because in my candy bags or pillow cases, I should say, at the very bottom, at about the 3rd or 4th week after a hard night trick or treating. At the very bottom, you're going to see nothing but those and Tootsie Rolls. And the Tootsie Rolls disappear before those still,
Yeah. No, I forgot about Tootsie Rolls. Yeah.
As a kid, but these days, I can take a Tootsie Roll, man. They're not that bad. A Tootsie Roll.
No, dude, yeah, you have
They're
a
not that
different
bad.
appreciation. And I'll say the same thing about candy corn. As a kid, people
You
would
hated
gi-
it, just
people
tossed it.
they would give you candy corn, and I think just having the reputation that it did, I never wanted to touch it, and so I never would eat it. I just like, oh, I hate candy corn, even though I never even tried it as a kid. You know, everybody hated it so much that I just didn't even, I had no interest in it. You know, it was kind of like Burger King. Everybody said Burger King's the worst, and then finally, as a grown up, I tried Burger King. I'm like, oh, you know what? This isn't so bad. Burger King's not so bad.
It tastes like a damn burger.
Yeah, it tastes like, and it's flame broiled. Yeah, but candy corn is one of those things. I actually dig candy corn. I don't mind it at all. You like candy corn?
Yeah, I can eat it. I can put up with it. I mean, it's not the candy that I'm going to go and spend money on.
Yeah, for sure. And then they had these like,
but I can get it.
They had these like obscure kind of candies. Like I don't even remember this. These things were called Mr. Bones. I don't think they weren't sweet tarts, because I know we've had the conversation of the little bones of sweet tarts, but there was just these things called Mr. Bones apparently, and I guess they were little puzzle pieces. You could put them together to make something. I don't know.
Yeah, the little bones were like G.I. Joe gripped, and you could just like put them in different spots and build a skeleton.
Yeah, I don't recall those, but apparently they were a thing. And then the little monster candy little things that tasted, they kind of look like little cigarettes, but they
yeah, I remember those.
And I remember them too, but they tasted terrible. They were
they were horrible. It was like a chalk. It's almost like a leftover sludge that's left over after they're making an actual candy. Yeah. And they're like, what are we going to do with this? I'm like, well, let's just roll it up real tight and put it in a package and call it a cigarette candy.
yeah.
But let it dry first, you know.
And I remember some of the hidden treasures, like and still to this day, you remember like the little packs of Now-and-Laters? Remember Now-and-Laters?
Yeah. There was like a 2 or a 3 pack.
Yeah,
of Now-and-Laters that you would get in there every now and then.
And I love those things, man. I thought that
I did too.
Still to this day, do they still make Now-and-Laters? I don't even know.
I haven't seen it. It's been a minute since I even walked through a gas station like candy rack.
Oh yeah.
But I did about a month back. I stopped at QT on my way to work, and I saw this pack of Starburst, and I had to get that. I had to get a pack of Starburst, man. That thing was like that long, dude. It was like a huge pack. And I was like, oh, that'll last me a while.
Starburst are great.
Yeah.
They're one of those things. Yeah. I don't know. They're just a hidden treasure. They'll always be great. The only ones.
Yeah, those are fantastic.
The only flavors I didn't like though of Now-and-Laters is the banana ones, and I just There's just something about banana flavored Now-and-Laters.
Oh yeah,
they were just disgusting.
The grape and the red ones was probably my favorite. Probably the grape was my favorite out of all of them.
Totally, yeah. They were great. But I remember trick or treating, and people would hand those out in my neighborhood. But when
you think about it, they had the perfect name too, Now and Later, because it was like you were eating it now, but it was sticking to your teeth, so you could have it later. Also,
totally, absolutely. And I completely forgot about trick or treating with pillowcases. I totally forgot about that.
Dude, we used to rock. Yeah. We used to fill up them pillowcases, man.
Yeah, I think one year I actually just used a paper bag because that's all I had, at one point.
Yeah.
And man, I completely forgot about all the different ways. I think when I was really little, you remember the OG pumpkin, just the OG pumpkin?
Yeah.
With little handles?
You couldn't even get halfway full before the handle broke. And your candy's just all over the corner of the street. You're like, yeah,
exactly.
Come on, don't cry. Let's just pick it up. Yeah. Everybody else leaves you behind, trying to catch up.
Yeah, and they didn't hold much either, man. They weren't the biggest quantity.
Not at all, man.
Yeah.
You walk up the street, up my street on Halloween, you'll fill a pumpkin up. You don't even have to go to another street.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
I know where we're going this Halloween.
Andy.
We'll swing by.
Yeah. Go for it, man.
Yeah. And there were some hidden gems out there too back in the 80s. There was these things made by Brax. Remember Brax Company, like the candy company? There was these random, they were like very like chocolate. They were like chocolate and vanilla all these they were colored like yellow and orange and black and all that good stuff, and they were shaped in like moons and pumpkins and like bats and cats and stuff like that. They were like these little hidden gems they tasted very chocolatey. They were almost like a knockoff of Hershey's Kisses. You know, that's the flavor I remember tasting.
Oh yeah, I think I remember what you're talking about. They came in one little pack. You would rip them open.
Right.
You didn't know what was in that pack.
Well,
right? It was either like a cat or a bat or something like that.
I think they had little packs like that, but then they had the bigger packs. You know, they had those kind of all the time. You know, those are the ones I remember. But then do you also remember how big these things were in the 80s? The wax fangs. You remember like the wax, like there were vampire fangs, and it was just a piece of wax with fake teeth on the front, and I remember the fangs, but I don't remember any of the wax. Yeah, they were just pieces of wax, and like they start off with lips. Remember, they were just fake lips, and you could like bite it, and then would hold it in place, right?
Yeah, it would mold it.
Right,
yeah.
They were molded. Yeah, they were molded. No, well, they were already molded. They just came in a pack and everything, and then and then for Halloween they made like the fangs so you can have. I remember tasting it too, and I'm like, I still have that taste of the wax of those things in my mouth. You know?
I think it's the same wax they used on those candies, those liquid candies that were basically like test tubes filled with juice, and the test tube was wax.
Oh, right.
They look like little test tubes, or the little sodas that were wax, but there was liquid inside of them, and you would just chew it.
Yeah, I remember.
I don't know if you remember those.
I think you're so disappointed because you only got like literally one little little bitty sip of those things. I
used doing that wax all freaking day long if you wanted to.
Yeah, but what were some other? Do you remember of some of your favorites that like? Did you have like a house in the neighborhood that gave out king size candies or anything like that? What were like some of your favorites?
I was in the country, so when we went trick or treating, we would go into town and go to visit some neighborhoods to go trick or treating. So I didn't really have like a favorite house, but as far as like favorite candies, I'm all about my sweet tarts, man. I gotta have my sweet tarts. The two Sprees, sweet tarts. Now and later's. I like the Nerds. The Nerds were slamming. I still like the Nerds. I still like them all. Those are probably my top candies right there. And then we're going to get into the chewier ones like the Skittles and the Starburst. You like that's probably my top 5
ones.
right there.
You're into the fruity ones.
Yeah. I guess so. Yeah. Never really thought about that. But.
I'm on the other spectrum of that. I'm a big chocolate guy, so I really like
the chocolates. The chocolates aren't really my go-tos, but I can make do with some chocolates. But man, I gotta have my my tangy, fruity, delicious candies.
Yeah, tangy's great.
Yeah.
I got to be in the mood for it, and when I do get in the mood for it, like I'll kill a whole bag of Starburst.
Oh yeah, we used to have movie night. When my kids were little, we still had that Blockbuster next to HEB right there. We used to have that last Blockbuster there. Were you in town when that was still there?
Oh yeah.
And so we would rent movies there, and then we'd go to HEB and pick up the movie candies that come in the big old boxes.
Yep.
Totally. They still have them at HEB. It was like one big box for like $1 or something like that. We'd get the sweet tarts. We'd get all the Runts. Oh, we can't forget the Runts.
Oh, Runts. Totally remember Runts. The little bananas and all that stuff in there. Yeah. I loved that Blockbuster, man. I got to know the manager of the store.
Yeah.
And they threw out all of the posters, on the windows every couple of weeks or whatever. So I would go up there once every 2 weeks and say, "Hey, can I have that poster? Hey, can I have?" And
that's like, cool, man.
It was like four different posters to make one big one. And so if you ever next time you come to the house, I'll take you a trip to the garage and I'll show you my whole ceiling is filled up with Blockbuster.
That's awesome.
Movie stuff like that.
Yeah. I remember when they closed down, they started giving stuff away like that. The posters and then the movies. They got every week. They got even cheaper and cheaper. They got down and when it was like the movies were like 99 cents.
Yeah, I saw the
that last day.
Halloween candy. We talked about the horror movie craze, and we talked about Halloween costumes from the 80s. And we also we did some trivia. We did our drink of the week. all that good stuff. But this was episode 1, guys. What did you think about our? How did you have fun? Did you have fun tonight, man?
Man, I had a good time, man. It's always a good time jumping on here and talking about good memories and stuff. Nostalgia, beer, BBQ, food, candy. I mean, yeah, man, I had a great time.
And there's no limitations to it, man, for this podcast. We got a lot.
Man.
This is just happens to be our first episode. We thought we'd kick it off with October Halloween spooky topics, and all that good stuff. And so, I'm looking forward to the future with the Saved by the Brew podcast. We have so much coming up, guys. We've got everything. We're going to be talking about like Christmas movies and Santa Claus and wish books and like Ataris and Stallone movies, 80s haircuts. What else are we going to be talking about? John Candy, our first jobs, stuff like that. Ponchos, remember Ponchos, the tacos, how great they were.
Oh yeah.
Old school
food
Pizza
places,
Huts.
good eats.
That's it. Pizza Huts and VCRs and Patrick Swayze's. I mean, we got so much coming up with this podcast, and I'm so excited to be doing it with my buddy Luis here, man. And I'm so glad that you're.
We're gonna have a good time doing it too.
Yeah, and sipping some brews and having a good time. We're gonna be trying something new every time, So there's a lot of different brews out there to try, and hopefully you guys will get to share that with you guys, and you guys can try it on your end too. So we're looking forward to the Saved by the Brew podcast. But this has been episode 1. Saved by the Brew. Smash that thumbs up. Make sure you go follow Trumpet Master 77 BBQ. Let them know where you're at, man. Where you located?
Same handle on all social media except Facebook. I still don't have a Facebook. Trumpet Master 77 BBQ. If you guys want to learn how to cook some delicious backyard BBQ, I make it simple, make it easy, and I make you hungry.
You got that right. That's
my meat in your mouth. No, you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I did a little bit of stuff on Rumble at one point. I don't know what's going on there. I haven't.
I remember Rumble. Yeah, I remember that.
And Pinterest. I'm on Pinterest too. I've got a Pinterest page there, so check it out.
Oh, cool. There you go.
That's where you can find me.
Very nice. And my name is Sean with the Real Life Perspective Show. I'm on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Always posting content all the time. Long form content on Fridays. Try to do shorts quite a bit throughout the weeks. But yeah, check me out. 80s, 90s nostalgia, all kinds of fun stuff. Everything from Mortal Kombat to NES Kung Fu to My Pet Monster. WCW, Monday Night Nitro, Little Giants, Back to the Future, everything you can think of under the sun, man. All kinds of fun. Just remembering and unlocking memories to keep our childhood spirits alive, guys. That's what it's about. Remembering nostalgia and keeping this thing going. Anything else you want to say?
Just hit that like button and share.
There you go, man.
Sure.
Well, thanks for watching.
Share the show, forward it, hit the like button.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
There you go. Thanks for watching, everybody. And we'll catch you guys on the next Saved by the Brew.
Saved by the Brew, baby.
Peace out.
Salute.